I'll keep this brief since I know you guys already have the bulk of the information. But as you know, we decided to postpone today's workout. Some players and pitchers in particular were able to get a light recovery workout in this morning. And we do expect results at some point, testing results at some point today from, and this will help us clear things up. And assuming that we're all clear, we'll pick this back up tomorrow on our regular schedule, and today's workout will just be handled tomorrow. And we really don't believe this is going to hurt our camp or development just to miss a day and be a nice mental blow for our players. So that's what I have for you, and happy to answer any questions or things that are on your mind.
With that, if you'd like to ask a question, use the raise hand feature on Zoom or type it in the chat window and we'll get this thing started. Got a question from Janie, the AP. Janie, go ahead.
Okay. Gabe, are you confident that everything can come together? I mean, I asked you yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, how grateful you were that you hadn't had any delays, and now here we are. Do you think that baseball and testing can get situated in time for this to work out? Are you still confident? David Force said yesterday with the A's situation, MLB has to get better, and we believe it will. He's confident, but what's your take today? I mean, here you are in the same situation.
Yeah, no, I feel as confident today as I did yesterday. I understand that there are going to be hiccups along the way. I think our club does as well, our players and staff included in that. And yeah, I still have confidence for sure.
Is it frustrating? Do you understand better maybe today what these other clubs were dealing with the last couple days?
I think more than anything, I just maintain a level of empathy for everybody that's working really hard to get our camp up and running, but also across the league and for all the clubs that are working really hard to put their players in a position to have success. It's nobody expected this to be easy, and everybody is doing the best that they can.
Thank you.
Maria, go ahead.
Hey, Gabe, how did
Maria.
The players kind of react to the delay, and did you sense some frustration on their part over it?
Yeah, I mean, because we're dealing with so many players, Maria, we have different, varying levels of comfort or discomfort. And look, we stay in very close contact with our players. I think, most of the anxiety is just around COVID in general. But I don't think it's related in any way to, anything other than what society in general is experiencing.
Henry, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Gabe.
Hi, Henry.
Hi. Just a couple of things. Was this a significant number of tests? And by significant, I mean like a very, very large group of results, or was it just a smaller group, but enough to, persuade you that it just might be safer?
I'm not sure what you mean. We don't have
the number of
results back.
Right.
We don't have results back yet.
No, that's what I meant. I meant of the results that you're still waiting for. Some teams have canceled workouts just because of a handful of tests that have not come back positive or negative yet.
Right.
I'm just wondering if that's the case that you're in, or whether it was a significant number of tests, because as of yesterday, we were told that the testing had pretty much gotten everybody one way or the other.
So I think the best way to express this is that Saturday's results, the results from Saturday's tests, aren't back yet. We're expecting them to be back at some point today. We've communicated with the league on that, and they're doing everything in their power to help us with that. That's all I have for you. Like, we don't have a specific number. We haven't separated it out. All I can tell you is that we don't have the results back from our tests on Saturday, and that's why we made the decision that we made.
Okay, and on a different front, the Washington Nationals today announced that several players, particularly some in the outfield, were going to quarantine as a result of the contact tracing procedure. Before you canceled the workout today, were you going to have to sit out any players based on the 2 positive tests that you had yesterday?
We would have had the same procedures and protocols today that we had yesterday. So we don't have new information after yesterday's workout that would make us change course in any way for today's workout. Does that make sense, Henry? I want to make sure that I'm answering that question.
It makes sense, except that we really didn't know from yesterday's workout whether any players had been held out from contact tracing.
I guess I'm trying to get especially clear on the question.
Okay.
So what information after yesterday, after we talked yesterday, are you looking for?
You had 2 positive tests yesterday, and you talked to us at about I believe it was 4:00 about that. Okay. Between then and the time that you had to cancel the test today, did you and the front office decide to sit anybody out today before the workout was canceled because of contact tracing procedures that some players might have had quote unquote close contact with the 2 people who tested negative?
Yeah, no, the answer to that question is no.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right. Bags, you are good. Go ahead.
Hi, Gabe. Can you tell us in the last 24 hours, given the 2 positive tests and now given the workout today, and we know from Buster describing his state of mind that he's going to be looking at this from day to day, that he thinks every player is probably looking at it the same way about the decision to opt out. Have you spoken specifically with any players about potentially changing their mind about opting out, given the news of the last 24 hours?
Yeah, no. I've had a lot of contact with players this morning, obviously. And yeah, direct answer to that question is no.
Okay.
Alex.
Hey, Gabe, as you guys know, I mean, this is going to be the next 2 weeks of summer camp and then 60 games of the season. Hopefully you'll be doing it. Have you guys learned anything in the last 3 days? Or
hang on one sec. Come on in. Hey, can I just finish the Zoom call? And this is media stuff, and then I'll be right with you guys. Thank you. Sorry, Alex.
No worries. Was there anything that you guys have learned over the last few days or have discussed today that you think can help you moving forward, just to try to make sure this doesn't happen again? And knowing it's not a team issue, but maybe if there's anything you've learned about the process.
I think that's actually a good question. Look, I think we're going to be getting information throughout every day that helps us make more informed decisions. Whenever we can, I would like us to be able to stay flexible and nimble so we can make the best decisions for that day for the group. At the same time, I think whenever we can be decisive and help our players, kind of get prepared for the next day, I think we want to do that as well. And in this particular case, I just think we had the ability that to recognize that we weren't going to lose any development and our camp wasn't going to suffer in any way by making this decision on behalf of our group. So what we might do different, maybe nothing, but definitely continue to stay flexible and try to get as much information as possible to make the best decisions on behalf of the group.
And Killian, your line is open. There you go.
All right, thanks. I just unmuted myself. Thanks, Gabe.
Sure.
So MLB, what's your contact or what's your assurance been from the league? They've first announced a very low rate of positive tests, but then it turned out those were not complete. Yesterday, they dismissed some of the things that were happening with several teams as pretty minimal, just like a handful of tests, and it turns out that the problems continue to go on today. we already know that there was a trust issue involved in this restart. I'm just wondering how you think, you're the one who has to kind of be a conduit between the league and the team. How do you think this is going to play out, just on a psychological level, that there's already all these issues that, you're in an environment where trust is really, really important on everything.
Well, first I acknowledge that trust and communication is certainly important. And I guess from a trust standpoint, I trust that people, Major League Baseball and the clubs are going to make adjustments along the way. I really do believe that this is an easy problem to solve. And when I say an easy problem to solve, I think the concerns and the issues are, there's a lot of things that we don't know. And within that, I think that from a trust perspective, as an industry, I trust that we're going to share information and use that information to make good decisions. And again, we're 3 days into our modified camp. I think we're going to be better, 4 or 5 days from now than we are now, because we're going to have more information and we will have gone through a lot of these testing protocols. And so I have trust that things are going to get better and run more smoothly. And I think that's true for the league, but also for our club.
Janie, go ahead.
Gabe, just so I have this down straight. So if you guys tested on Saturday, every other day you would have had more tests on Monday, the way I understand it. Does that sound right?
It's true.
Okay,
we tested on Monday as well.
Okay, and those results, then you have no idea when you might get Monday's results. Is that fair to say? And I guess following up with what Ann said, in a couple weeks you go on the road to Angels, where or to Los Angeles, where the tester didn't even show up, and you guys might be in Los Angeles and their test results aren't back. These scenarios are so unclear. What are your thoughts?
So I understand the frustration, and I understand that, there's some confusion. Our expectation is, at least on the Saturday tests, is that we'll have results back today. And our expectation is that the results from Monday's test will be somewhere in the neighborhood of tomorrow. So, because that would be 48 hours-ish. And look, not that this, well, we have to be really focused on preparing for camp tomorrow. We want to get this, today's schedule executed tomorrow. And, we're looking for test results back today. We've gotten that assurance from the league that we can expect that. And, we'll look for tomorrow, the test results from Monday tomorrow.
John Shea, you are open.
Yeah, Gabe.
Sorry, that was a call that came in on my iPad. Apologies for that.
No worries. How could this not hurt your camp? You say it's not going to hurt your camp or how could it not hurt your development? To miss a day, these are supposed to be times of urgency. You have 3 weeks instead of the normal 6. Last time you had 3 weeks, baseball anyway, was 94, 95, and plenty of arm and leg injuries after those 3 weeks. You're not even going to get 3 weeks now. How could it not hurt your development?
Because we think that a mental recovery day after 3 days of going fairly hard, there's some benefit to that. We also think that the physical recovery day, there's some benefit to that. I think you guys know that our staff has been going pretty hard. There's many staff members at the ballpark now, but very spread out and getting a little bit of recovery as well. And our schedule is easy to transfer tomorrow. So, would we like to be able to utilize every day on the calendar before opening day? Sure. Would we probably build in some type of recovery during this time period between now and opening in Los Angeles? We definitely would. And what we might do to adjust and make sure that it doesn't hurt our camp and our development is a time down the road where we would have baked in some recovery. We'll just use that for a more intense workout.
You have to trust the league. You have to trust the testers. You have to trust the process. But in your gut, what's your feeling or optimism about a season starting?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, John, you and a lot of the people on this call are starting to get to know me. I generally feel optimistic. I share the concerns of people in the country right now. It's kind of a scary and uncertain time. And at the same time, I remain optimistic that we can get through it together.
Barry Bloom, go ahead.
Hey, Gabe, what's going on?
Hey, Barry.
Another easy day there in San Francisco, huh?
We're all right.
Yeah.
We're all right.
So without being there, I'm just wondering on the sequence of these things. The Saturday tests, were they more intake tests or were they follow-up COVID tests?
I don't know how you separate those right now, honestly.
Well, everybody had to pass an intake test to be able to participate?
Yeah, no, and I guess we had testing throughout the weekend, and the direct answer to your question is follow-up, but the intake process includes players being added to our camp, and so I just want to make sure that's understood.
Okay, so the two guys who tested positive, which group did it come from? Did it come from, when were their tests taken? Were they taken prior to Saturday?
Those are questions that I'm not at liberty to answer for you.
Okay, so is there a possibility that if you don't get these test results back in a timely manner tomorrow, you might have to cancel practice tomorrow too?
I think there's a number of different possibilities, and I wouldn't rule anything out, but as of right now, that's not the expectation.
Well, expectation or not, it's still, it is a possibility considering the circumstances. I mean, you've got people, I'm in Arizona, and there are people here waiting 18 hours, 10 hours, 8 hours online in their cars to get tested. I mean, this is a problem all over the country right now because of a system that's basically broken down. So it makes Major League Baseball from a one lab who's producing all this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly can relate to and understand your frustration.
I'm not frustrated. I'm basically looking at the macro picture of this globally, and we're in a situation here where Major League Baseball is only a small part of what's happening.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, and I hope that I'm understanding this right, is that there's some uncertainty out there, and you're looking for acknowledgement of that uncertainty. Is that right?
I'm not looking for it. I'm just saying that it's understandable that in the long run, you may have constant problems with this testing thing because everybody else is right now too.
I understand that. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So again, there's a possibility that you might not get your test back tomorrow in time to have it work out tomorrow.
Like I said, our expectation is that we'll have test results today, and then that we'll have test results again tomorrow, and that will be an ongoing process. I don't have the ability to, on our behalf or on anybody's behalf, see things that are uncertain right now, and I hope you can respect that.
All right, we're going to move on. Andy, go ahead.
Gabe, as it's been explained to you, what has been the nature of this delay? Is it a transportation issue? Is it that the lab is backlogged? What's the deal?
I think as it relates to the results from Saturday's test, it was a holiday weekend, courier, and logistics issue.
All right, a couple more. Alex, go ahead.
Hey, Gabe, you've talked the last 2 days about the people who are working behind the scenes to make sure this all runs smoothly. I was wondering, with guys like Brad, his clubhouse guys, Abe, have you spent more time maybe checking on those guys than you would in the past, just knowing that this is putting kind of a tremendous strain on them to get the ballpark ready every day?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Those guys are working exceptionally hard. Abe, I know, is he has a long list of tasks that he's trying to complete on a daily basis. His job is obviously especially challenging because, he's managing the hotel and he's getting ready for travel, the team hotel, and he's getting ready for travel in the season. And he's always responding to requests. So yeah, we have a lot of understanding that, what Brad is dealing with, what Abe is dealing with, what our entire clubhouse staff is dealing with is different than they'd ever experienced. And just thinking about the fact that there's 2 clubhouses, not one, to think about with our players and our staff. And the way our locker room is set up, we have staff lockers in our normal, right off of our conference room. But then what was once Farhan's office is now another space for staff lockers. And we've got people housed in the visitors clubhouse as well. What you're seeing is we have a lot of places and spaces to manage, and our clubhouse staff is devoted to making sure that goes well. And yeah, we're definitely cognizant of their workload right now.
And we'll get the last one from Janie.
Gabe, you said that some guys were able to do some stuff today. I guess let's find a positive in what you saw, or how many players were able to do something today? Did you keep a count, and what kind of workouts were they? Was anybody on the field, or was it behind the scenes type stuff?
Yeah, there were a handful of recovery style workouts for some of our pitchers that worked out yesterday. Johnny Cueto got a little throwing in late this morning, early this afternoon, depending on when exactly he got out there. If you really want me to, I'll grab some numbers for you, but I'd just say a handful.